It is the 6th of August 2021 and I just did a pregnancy test and it's positive. I feel like I'm dreaming. So surreal. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I know it's really early days, but it's wild. Dan and I have been trying for only 2 months. I did not think it would take such a short amount of time. I was kind of, I don't know, I just gave myself a year, and I know for a lot of people it can take longer. And this pregnancy might even work out, a lot of people miscarry, but just the fact that I'm pregnant, it's a miracle. It's just so beautiful. Dan and I kind of just decided to try because I'm 32. He's 32 this year, and it's time. I have been wanting to try. I've been wanting to have a baby for a couple of years now, actually. I think it just kind of, that motherly pull kind of just started to creep in when I turned about 30, and I was in a loving relationship at the time, but Dan and I were still pretty new, we've only been together for 3 years this year, which isn't a long time, but I feel like when you know, we're in our first house together. I moved countries, moved to a new town for him. We're settled here for the time being, and just was the organic next move for us. And yeah, we just decided to start trying and leave it up to God, to the universe, to a higher power, and here we are. Probably too much information for some people, but my period was late, only for a few days, but I just kind of had this weird feeling, like my body just didn't feel quite its normal self, as far as PMS symptoms. It's really tricky with PMS and pregnancy's early symptoms because they're really similar, tender breasts, swelling of the breast, bloating, all those kind of things. They're kind of things that happen to me every month anyway, but it was just kind of all that stuff, but to the extreme. Plus I've needed to pee a lot during the night. I've been getting up 4 times, which is really annoying. I haven't been sleeping well at all. You can probably tell by my haggard face, but I told Dan this morning that my period was late, and he was like, oh, let's take a test. And I was like, oh, let's wait till tomorrow because it might come today. And he just said, let's just do it. And so I did it. I think I was just really nervous. My hands were shaking when I was waiting the 3 minutes for it to do its thing. And then, I just looked at it and I could not believe it. I think I'd kind of scared myself into thinking that, I don't know, that it would be a battle for us or something, and I don't know why. I just had this feeling that maybe my body wouldn't work the way it's meant to, and I think that's just a lot of anxiety. I think it's just kind of the nature of anxiety, it picks up on what you're scared of and really kind of runs with it, and it can really tell you lies. So I was just so surprised, but I'm so thrilled. I've only told Mum and Dad, and they were so happy. But yeah, Mum keeps reminding me it's just early days, take it one day at a time. Got a doctor's appointment on Wednesday, and yeah, take it as it comes. I don't even know why I'm filming this footage. I don't know if I put it out on the internet, but I just thought I would. It just had just kind of popped into my head that maybe this is something I would want to share down the line, but who knows, maybe it would just be a fun thing to look at. But yeah, I'm pregnant, and I'm gonna go eat because I'm starving, and continue to process this information. All right. Hello again. I have been trying to film this video for a couple of weeks now, but my energy levels are just so sporadic and all over the place that I just haven't managed to do it yet. But the last few days I've been feeling a lot better, a lot more like myself, which has been lovely. So here we are. I'm pregnant, as you can tell by the title of this video and the clip that you just saw, which is very exciting. I'm so happy and grateful. I'm in my second trimester now. Thank God. The first trimester was really hard for me, to be honest. And it's funny, like the days have gone really slowly, but the weeks have gone really quickly. I'll be 15 weeks in a few days, which seems, it's flown by, but a lot to kind of update you on. And I really wanted to talk about my first trimester because when I was really in the thick of it, I felt really lonely. And it's funny now that I'm kind of telling people that I'm pregnant. A lot of women have said the same thing, that in their first trimester they have felt really lonely and kind of isolated. And it's really interesting. And I think it's that thing because you're not supposed to tell as many people in the first trimester because things can go wrong, obviously. So your support group, your support network is a lot smaller. But I really wanted to share my experience because, to be honest, I haven't really found anyone in my friendship group, my family, who was as sick as I was. And I found those people through like YouTube videos and like baby forums and pregnancy forums. And I'm so glad that I found those people because I did feel kind of, I felt alone. I felt like something was wrong with me, and it was a really challenging time. So I just wanted to talk about my first trimester and kind of give you a little update on what's going on with me and the pregnancy. But so happy. I'm at a point now where I'm kind of out of the worst of it, and I'm just so grateful and quite honoured, I think, to be pregnant. I know for a lot of women, the journey to conception can be a really long and stressful one. I know based on my own experience, and we weren't trying for long. We were really lucky, and I just want to kind of preface that, like, I know for a lot of women, talking about pregnancy and stuff can be quite hard and quite triggering. So I just want to say, like, I empathize completely with any woman struggling. I know when we first kind of decided to start trying, and I started doing research and learning about ovulation and the fertile window and all that, like, it completely consumes you. And unfortunately, the reality is that the woman kind of does most of that research, and the man kind of turns up for the fun part, which, it's fine, it is what it is, but it is a lot of kind of like headspace. Like, it's all I thought about for a really long time. And even though we got pregnant really quickly, even in the first month when I didn't get pregnant, I kind of had that deflation, and I can't even imagine how that would feel to have that ongoing, and to worry about that. So heaps of love to all the women who are having a hard time there. We're really lucky. We conceived in the second month of trying, which was a surprise, to be honest. I didn't think it would happen that quickly, and I think there was a big part of me that was trying to kind of protect myself there, because you do hear a lot about how a woman can really, it could take a long time, and even my doctor said it can take up to a year. It doesn't matter how healthy you are. A lot of things have to kind of fall in line, for you to actually conceive. So I'm hugely grateful. We both are. And yes, let's talk about it. So I knew that I was going to get morning sickness. My mum got morning sickness, so I kind of knew that that was something that was ahead in the coming weeks. When I filmed the first clip before this one, I was about 4 weeks pregnant, and for a couple of weeks from there I felt like completely normal, just really on cloud nine, basically just like, I don't know, I was just kind of walking on this high. I just felt so good and so happy and content to be pregnant. And then I think it was about around 6 weeks where I started to feel sick. I had a coffee one morning, I threw it up, and then I kind of felt fine for the rest of the day, and that was kind of my first little glimpse at morning sickness. And I was like, oh, okay, that's it, that's all good. That was kind of easy. Little did I know, a few days later, I just started to feel nauseous kind of all day long, and I wasn't, unfortunately, one of those lucky women who feel nauseous but don't vomit. I vomited a lot in my first trimester. I think at about 6.5 weeks, I decided to take the following week off work just because I was feeling really, really sick, and also just had absolutely no energy. So I was planning to take 2 weeks off work. I've taken nearly 3 months off work, and I'm still not back at work. So I'm hoping to be back hopefully next week or the week after, but that kind of just shows it's been a rough ride, and it kind of got progressively worse until about week 11, and even from then I've had a couple of really, really bad experiences. So yeah, my morning sickness was severe. I was bedridden. Getting up made me feel really dizzy. I vomited multiple times a day. I could eat, and it kind of gave me a little bit of like a short reprieve. I only wanted to eat beige carbs basically, so like white bread, crackers, just kind of really simple things to digest. That's kind of all I craved and all I could kind of stomach. It was really, really emotionally tough. I wasn't sleeping. Actually, sleeping is the first thing that kind of, my first symptom. I think I spoke about it in the clip before this. I just kind of kept waking up at the night, and I don't think I've had a full night's sleep for nearly 15 weeks, which is crazy. Surprising that I feel all right today. But I wasn't sleeping, and I had morning sickness, and it was really, really, really hard, physically really, really hard, and also mentally really, really tough. I felt really, really lonely. And when you're kind of in those early days as well, like, you know that you're pregnant, you know that your body's working really, really hard, you know that there's this growing being in your belly, but, you know, you can't see it. You don't have a belly yet. We hadn't had an ultrasound or a scan or anything yet. So it was just this weird, really weird experience, you know. And I needed a lot of reassurance and support from Dan, which he gave me. I'm so grateful for that man. I don't think I've ever loved him more. He's been so supportive and incredible and just so calm, and thank you, Danny. I love you. But it was really, really hard. There was one day where I got so dehydrated and I just couldn't keep down any liquids that I had to go to the emergency room. That was really scary. The thing about morning sickness is you have to be really careful about dehydration, and I knew I was dehydrated that day, so I ended up in the emergency room at about 8:30 that night, and I went on an IV fluid and had some anti-nausea tablets, and then was able to go. I've only been hospitalised that once, touch wood, that was the only time, and touch wood, that was the worst that it will ever get. But it was really scary. And not uncommon. It's very common to get that second pregnancy. A lot of women don't, but a few of us do, the unfortunate ones. But I think the hardest thing was kind of, you know, comparing myself to other women who kind of like breeze through first trimester or get like a little bit sick or have only like a couple of weeks of morning sickness and then it goes away. I kind of felt like there was something wrong with me or something wrong with my body, or like the baby wasn't happy. Just the whole time in the back of my head, I was just really, really worried about the baby, because I wasn't really eating anything nutritious, and I just felt so sick that I was just like, well, how can this baby possibly like cope through that? And of course it has. There were two really amazing turning points for me. The first was my first appointment with my obstetrician at 8 weeks, who's a really, really amazing woman and was really reassuring. We did a quick little scan and we saw the baby's heartbeat, and it was all looking really good, and that was the first time that I ever saw the baby, even though at that point it was just kind of like this cute little blob with this really fast beating heart. It was the first time I've been like, wow, that's in my belly, it's growing, it's doing what it's meant to do. So that was really, really, really lovely. I was still quite sick at that point, but just to kind of see it and know that everything was going as it should be was just like this huge weight off my shoulders. Like this, it was just, it was magic. It was really, really magic. And she also gave me some medication, which I take at night. I'm still taking it, which has really, really helped my morning sickness. So I'm really, really thankful for her and for having something that really relieved me, because I wasn't really coping, to be honest. It's really hard to kind of talk about it now because I'm feeling so much better, and I've kind of forgotten what it was like when I was in the depth of it, but I was quite depressed, I think, and I felt really, really far away from my family. I just wanted to be with my mum. It's funny, like when you get pregnant, a lot of women say that they just want to like be with their mum, and my dad and my family, of course, but you know, situation is as it is at the moment. I don't think I'll be back in New Zealand for a while, so that was really hard, but yeah, I got through it, and then we had the kind of big ultrasound at 12 weeks, which Dan got to come to, which was really, really special. And that's when we saw the little bub, and it looked like a baby, and it was moving around, and we had all the blood tests and all the things kind of checked for, and everything's all good. And yeah, it was so incredible seeing this little baby, and for Dan to see it too. Yeah, there's I can't explain. There's nothing. I've never experienced anything like it. It was just this like incredible, beautiful moment that I'll always remember for the rest of my life. And we got lots of pictures, and yeah, everything just went as well as it could, and it just kind of made the weeks prior worth it, you know, because as much as it was such a mental and physical toll on me, like I know, like I'd endure anything for my baby. So just to know that it was healthy and doing what it was meant to and growing and doing little flips, like everything felt worth it at that point. So that was a huge turning point for me. And our next ultrasound will be 20 weeks, which I'm really, really excited about. But I just wrote some notes that I kind of wanted to talk about as far as symptoms and stuff. So kind of covered morning sickness. It was really bad, starting to get better now. I have the occasional random vomit. And I can get a little bit nauseous if I don't kind of eat every couple of hours, but it's manageable now. I've been for 3 walks in a row, and that's huge for me because I haven't done pretty much any movement for the last 14 weeks, which has been another thing that's been really, really difficult because, you know, prior to pregnancy I was incredibly active. So I'm really, really hoping this is kind of my turning point, and the second trimester is going to be a lot kinder to me. But yeah, fatigue I really wanted to talk about. That's something that I've really, really struggled with. I've had anemia. I've been tired a lot in my life. I've had fatigue, but you don't know fatigue until you've been pregnant. It's a completely different level, and it's like heavy, like a weighted blanket, and it's just all you can do is lie down. And I can't nap during the day, unfortunately. I'm not one of those people, but I have like lay on this couch in front of me many, many times, and just this, yeah, you just can't really do anything. I just like watched a lot of YouTube, watched a lot of movies and TV shows, to be honest. And that's been really hard because it's quite frustrating when like your brain and you wants to do stuff and move and, you know, go back to work, but your body's just like, nah, mate, we just need to rest. I think that's starting to lift. I don't want to speak too soon, but the last few days I felt a little bit better. Yeah, my energy's just been kind of more level instead of just like up and down and like crash in the afternoon. So hopefully it's a turning point. So yeah, I talked about having work off. So I've had, yeah, a lot of time off, about over 3 months off. Really hoping to go back either next week or the week after that. It's been really hard not having a routine, and obviously not having an income. I'm really, really lucky that I have Dan, who's been, you know, supporting us financially, and I feel incredibly privileged and lucky to have him. I know a lot of women aren't in my situation, and I just can't imagine it. So yeah, it's been the best thing for me, and it's kind of been like, Dan always says that my full-time job at the moment is just to grow my baby, and that's what it's been. And I know that's the most important thing in my life right now, and it's, as much as it's kind of been a bit frustrating and I wanted to kind of rush back into work, I know at the same time it has been the right thing to be doing in the last 3 months. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to go back soon and yeah, get back into a routine and yeah, just work again, move my body, use my hands, and yeah, cook again. It'll be really nice. Diet changes. This has been a really big one, a really interesting one actually. So as I said, first trimester, primarily ate white carbs, pasta, bread, crackers, and then had kind of weird cravings for like things like burritos, baked bean toasted sandwiches, stuff that I loved as a kid actually, randomly, that really just wanted really kind of familiar comfort food, and just could not look at vegetables, just could not look at vegetables. Could eat a little bit of fruit, like citrus fruit, but yeah, that was it. And it's incredibly common in first trimester. Now I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm eating fairly normally, which is nice, eating veggies again. I guess that the big differences I've made in my diet is I'm eating some red meat now. I got my blood tested, I think it was a month or two before we conceived, and I was anemic. So I just decided to start eating a bit of red meat to see if that would make a difference. And I had my blood tested last week or the week before, and my iron is normal for the first time in years. I don't think my body properly absorbs plant-based iron, unfortunately. So that's been really interesting, and I haven't actually been taking iron supplements the last 15 or so weeks because they can kind of make your morning sickness a lot worse. So yeah, I'm really stoked about that. I'm really happy about that decision. I've just been kind of choosing really good quality grass-fed like steak and mince, and made like slow cooked stews and lamb curries and stuff like that. It's been, yeah, really fun and really, really yum, to be honest. I've also just been kind of eating more like my mum and dad eat, I'd say. Like, I've kind of swapped out things like Nuttalex, which have a lot of weird oils and stuff in them, for like organic butter. Just kind of like swapping that stuff out for like whole foods. And it's been really great. I've been eating a little bit of yogurt as well, like organic yogurt, which has been really yummy. Craving that kind of stuff, actually. I guess my body kind of needs a bit of calcium. But yeah, just eating quite simply. I haven't really had a lot of energy to make anything super time consuming or complex. So what I do make is really, really simple, or it's something that I can make ahead of time. But yeah, it's so nice to be able to eat normally again. As far as cravings go, strangely, my biggest craving at the moment is for fruit, which is interesting because prior to pregnancy, I was not a big fruit eater at all, apart from berries. But now I love fruit. Like I'm thinking about fruit now, I'm like salivating a little bit, particularly like really hydrating fruit. So like mango, watermelon, and a lot of citrus fruit as well. That's just, yeah, that's what my body wants at the moment. It's really, really interesting to kind of eat so intuitively. Like my body just knows what it wants, whether it's kind of good or bad. Yeah, it's going to be super interesting throughout the pregnancy to see kind of what I crave. But at the moment, it's fruit. So yeah, I think what I've really learned in the first trimester is the importance of support in pregnancy. So I've only started telling kind of everybody in the second trimester, but we told obviously my immediate family, Dan's immediate family, and I told like a couple of friends, and having that support, even though my family's away, like having support from family and friends was just like so imperative and just so helpful. Especially want to thank Dan's mum, Sharon, who asked me every single day how I was, like text me every single day. And sometimes that's all you need. You just need to know someone's thinking about you, wondering how you are. Because as I said, it was really, really lonely. And she also made meals for us, which was just so helpful. Because on the days where I couldn't get out of bed, but I knew I needed to eat something, just to have a meal already made was just so helpful. So thank you, Sharon. I know you'll be watching this. And as I said, Dan was, my savior. And he's so great because we're such a good balance for one another, because I'm quite like emotional and he's very like level-headed. And he was just ideal in situations where I woke up like in the morning crying because I just felt so sick. And then obviously my mum and my dad and my brothers were amazing. And I think it's been quite hard for my mum because, we're away from one another. She's in New Zealand, I'm in Australia, and this will be the first grandchild, and I'm her only daughter, and I'm pregnant, and I think she just wants to be here and support me, so it's been quite hard for her to be away, but of course she's been supporting me from afar. So yeah, I feel really grateful to have people close to me who've been looking after me in this weird but wonderful time. And Albert as well. Albert, if you are new to this channel, Albert is my cat. He has been the sweetest boy in the world. On the days where I couldn't get out of bed, he would pretty much sleep with me the whole time. If I was upset, he would put his little paw on my face. Just the sweetest little angel. So having him has been incredibly comforting. Really grateful for him. But yeah, I'm really excited for the second trimester. I really hope it's kinder to me. It's been really hard. But just to have a few days this week just feeling kind of more energetic, just being able to eat fairly normally and just to feel a bit more like myself. Also my belly's growing, which is really cool. I feel like it gets bigger every day, to be honest, which is, it's really exciting. I feel pregnant. Speak of the devil. But yeah, it's getting to the exciting point now, and I can't wait to keep experiencing pregnancy, especially if this is my first baby, and I'm just so ready for it. We're so excited. We talk about it all the time. Obviously, it's completely consuming our lives, as it does. All I want to watch at the moment is pregnancy videos and read pregnancy books and talk about pregnancy. And I know a lot of you probably aren't pregnant or aren't planning to be pregnant anytime soon, but this is my channel, so I can talk about what I want. But yeah, it's really nice to share it with people and to kind of celebrate. And I will make sure to keep you updated on any kind of new pregnancy related things. But I think I'll leave it there because this video is going to be really long. That's it. I'm pregnant. I'm happy. It was really hard. Now it's getting better. That kind of sums it up. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.